the Daily Ramble podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick. This is my Daily Ramble. I hope you're all well. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, drop a like on the video. And what we're going to talk about today, well, look, news broke this morning that the player that we were chasing all summer, Ibrahim Osman, has agreed a deal with Brighton. Now, this is ridiculous. It's incredibly frustrating. And it does leave some serious questions. I mean, Sullivan is in the mud on this, irrespective of how this works out for that player or anything else. The fact of the matter is he's gone and got a director of football in Tim Stuyton with a reputation for finding unknown players, pearls. He's a pearl diver, and bringing them to clubs and developing them into superstars and, valuable assets. Brighton were interested in this player. Brentford were. We know that these are kind of the same type of money ball clubs. They strategise in the same way. So it wasn't just Tim. There were other clubs in the same sort of profile that we are apparently aspiring to be. If you listen to Jack Sullivan, they look at the Brighton model. That's what they want. That's why we've gone out and we've gone and got Tim. But then when it came to it, Sullivan listened to an outside influence, Barry Silkman, who said you're paying too much for that player. He's unknown. He's unproven. I've got someone else for you. We know he had Jota on the books. Shame about that because of the song. But nonetheless, this is ridiculous. It really, really is. And they've gone and got the deal done. The player will remain at Nordsjælland for the remainder of this season, and then he'll join Brighton for 19 million euros, which is around about 15, 16 million quid. Now, look, we know that there were excuses, rogue agents and stuff like that, and we know that there was a Danish reporter that got involved and went and done a show on Hammers Chat and explained that as well. But this is very common with these players. If you want to get the deal done, you'll get that deal done. They clearly didn't. It's as simple as that. They found a reason to get out of it is what happened. And I think it's ridiculous. It is. It doesn't matter what way you look at it, it's ridiculous because you've got to ask yourself questions now. What is going on? What is going on? And I think there are three possible scenarios, keeping in mind that David Moyes is reportedly looking at extending his deal. He's in negotiations. So let's start with that. I'm not going to delve into the David Moyes side of it too much. We're going to look at the three possible scenarios of what the club have done, why they've done it, and what it could be. And this is the only thing that I can think of. So the first scenario is utter incompetence. That's David Moyes is telling the truth. They are sitting down negotiating a deal. They're going to get it done. They're going to sign him on. They had no intention to not stick with David Moyes, but they haven't backed him in a window where we're having a really promising season in a Premier League where teams have fallen away. It's open. You could really push for top 6, maybe even top 4 if you reinforce this year. They've chosen not to do it. That is ridiculous, that being the case, because we know that we've got kind of a bit of a windfall coming this summer. We know that we was well off FFP this window. We know that. We've sold players. We've made ourselves weaker. We've got rid of 3 to 4 players that were in the first team setup or first team squad setup, and we've gone out and got one more loanee who isn't ready at the moment. He's not going to be, and we don't know how long it's going to take to get him ready. So we've weakened ourselves significantly in this window. So if they were looking to keep David Moyes on, then all it proves is that it's a completely rudderless ship. They've got no clue what they're doing. They make it up as they go along, and it's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic, because they've not done anything to help David Moyes achieve all he can achieve this year, ahead of a massive window that we've got coming up where we've got another big rebuild. That's scenario 1. So that's utter incompetence, right? Scenario 2 is that this was all part of the plan. At the start of the season, they went out, they got a director of football in Tim Stuyton, and a new plan was laid out. And that was that they were going to be basically giving Tim time to get his feet under the table, to go out and get the members of staff that he needed, the new guy that's just joined, start building his team, the backroom staff, get David Moyes to basically manage the situation for now, the first team situation. And then in the summer, Tim Stuyton goes out, appoints his head coach. They've got a massive stockpile of cash and more or less a clean slate where they can start again. That's a project. It's a plan. It's ruthless. And I hope it's that. I'm not saying I completely agree with that now, because even if that was the case, even if that was a plan at the end of the season, they just wanted sustenance throughout this year, keep David Moyes here, you know, just dangle a carrot in front of him saying, yeah, Dave, we will give you a new contract, kick the can down the road, and then ultimately let him do his job, let his contract run out and let him go and then move in a different direction. But they should have changed tact midway through this season when they saw where we were, because this is a rare opportunity this year. You know, even before the summer, you had the domestic cups. The League Cup, we had a really good opportunity there where we sort of bowed out against Liverpool. You don't know if there might have been outside influences sort of pressuring Moyes saying, oh, you've got to focus on the league, you've got to focus on the league. We don't know. We've got no idea. We've got no clue what's going on behind the scenes there. But it feels like they've almost burned the season for the greater good, because I say it feels like in this scenario, it would be a case that they've burned the season for the greater good because of the project that they're going to be building in the summer with the new guy. Now, look, I hope it's that. I hope that that is the case, even though it would be really irritating, especially if we go on to have a terrible second half of the season. We don't get European football next year. It's going to be horrible. But the blow will soon be softened if Moyes leaves and a top exciting manager comes in. Nobody will really mind. Nobody will care at that point. But it's just going to make this experience very, very painful. So that is scenario 2. It's all about the project and the new manager in the summer. And David Moyes is just basically keeping the wheels turning until that happens. Scenario 3 is there's a club sale coming. They're clearing the decks. You know, everyone's being led along. What it could be, you could split this into 2. This could be Tim Steidten isn't involved. He's just been brought in to help sort things out, so it looks like we're run really professionally and sort of get rid of players that we don't need and bring players in that can give us value, get the wage bill down, you know, sell players, really get the book straight, ready for a sale in the summer. That's the other one. The other one is there was always going to be a club sale coming through, and Tim Steidten was a plant from the new prospective owners, and he's managing this situation. Who knows? Who knows? So I suppose it's 3 scenarios, but scenario 3 is new owners, but where Tim sits in that, we don't know. We don't know. What do you think it is? I mean, I don't know. It's an absolutely bizarre situation because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm hoping and I'm praying that it isn't scenario 1, not just because it means David Moyes is staying here, but because it just illustrates how fucking useless this club is, how we've got no clue what we're doing, how there is no plan, and they just make it up as they go along. Scenario 2 would be everyone's dream at this point, I think. And that's what I'm hoping for. Scenario 3 could also be dependent on who the new owners would be. But yeah, like I say, quick video. Let me know what your thoughts are. Yeah, what would your... Either way, it's a bit of a shit, really, if it means we've got to burn this season. But look, it is what it is. But look, that's it from me. Very quick video. Just my thoughts on the Ibrahim Osman deal and what it could mean. All right? Speak to you all soon. Gab you heads.